Welcome back, Reds. Roy Keane and Jamie Carragher agree over Man United star who is fooling fans. Two pundits have been speaking about one player who may not be pulling his weight at Manchester United. Roy Keane and Jamie Carragher are in agreement over one underperforming Manchester United star. It has been a disappointing season for the Red Devils, who go into their weekend off 7th in the table, while they could drop a spot before they play next. Erik ten Hag will have wanted to kick on this term after finishing safely inside the top 4 last season, but it has not gone to plan, and he has attracted pressure aplenty. A number of players have also attracted criticism, with Jadon Sancho falling out with ten Hag, while Antony has underperformed so far this term. But captain Bruno Fernandes has also been criticised, and the latest comes from United legend Keane. If you watch him, Bruno Fernandes, at international level, he does the same, with floating around. It can't all be the coaches and managers, the Red Devils legend told the Stick to Football podcast. There is a player out there, and if he's doing all that stuff and producing magic, you almost forgive him, but if you're in a struggling team and you're doing all that stuff, that's where it stands out and you go, you're killing us, you're costing us. I reckon if you look back at his career, he's done it in every team. It's a trait. It's not as if he's an inexperienced player, leopards and spots. He'll get away with it if Manchester United were winning more matches and he was producing his bits of magic, which he has done before. Former Liverpool man Jamie Carragher is in agreement with Keane. Carragher added, "I always used to describe Paul Pogba a bit like this. I think there's a difference between a great talent and a great player. Pogba was a great talent, but I didn't think he was a great player, and the same with Bruno Fernandes. No doubt the talent is there, but there's just something missing, and the great players, it's in their head of where they need to be, whether it's defensively or to receive the ball, like Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne is better than Fernandes, but in terms of creating chances and different things, Fernandes is not a million miles away from him. We've seen him under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I've watched him wear, and it's not being lazy, by the way, he's just running everywhere, and this is without the ball, by the way. He's, Bruno Fernandes, very emotional. Sometimes when the game's not going well, I've seen him running 30 yards to close the goalkeeper down, and people sometimes get kidded by it and think, he's working hard." Bruno Fernandes has said about Goncalo Ramos as door opens for Man United transfer. Goncalo Ramos completed a transfer to Paris Saint-Germain in the summer but has struggled to find his feet in the French capital, and Manchester United may now be able to pounce. Paris Saint-Germain are said to be considering the future of forward Goncalo Ramos, just weeks after making his loan move permanent. The Portugal international joined the French club on loan in the summer from Benfica as they hoped to avoid financial fair play pressure. PSG had an obligation to make the move permanent for the striker, who Manchester United also held an interest in, and were able to action that in November, sealing the 22-year-old's signature for £69 million. However, reports in France suggest that PSG could already be looking to move on their charge, with L'Equipe casting doubt over Luis Enrique's faith in the striker. Ramos has scored 4 goals in 19 appearances during his time at the Parc des Princes and only made 1 substitute appearance in League One since the start of December. That news could alert Erik ten Hag's team, who, with new investment from Sir Jim Ratcliffe, once again appear to be in the market for a striker. United signed 20-year-old Rasmus Højlund in the summer. The Danish striker has delivered an inconsistent start to life at Old Trafford. While he is the current top goalscorer in this season's Champions League with 5 strikes in the competition, he has managed just 2 goals in 16 attempts in the Premier League. Those goals have come in his last 2 matches, however. The Red Devils are said to be targeting a centre-forward in addition to a number 8, centre-back and right-back, with the prospect of a transfer overhaul. PSG could be open to a deal for Ramos as soon as this month. Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes has previously declared that Ramos is well suited to the Premier League. Speaking in the summer, the midfielder suggested his countryman could become one of the world's best. "I think Goncalo Ramos has all the conditions to play in the Premier League," Fernandes told Portuguese channel Sport TV, as per record. He plays with a lot of intensity. He presses very well and is really good inside the penalty area. He is strong. Obviously, he is still very young and will improve a lot. Fernandes added, "If he continues to work as he has worked so far, I believe he has the potential to become one of the best strikers in the world. He is already close to that level, but he still needs to go to a more competitive league and prove himself. He will go there, something I believe he has all the capabilities to do." Here we back. Mason Greenwood's sale is key to Manchester United transfer plans. The latest set of financial results from Manchester United told you everything you need to know about their transfer plans for the rest of the year. United enjoyed record matchday, broadcasting and commercial revenues, as well as record ticket sales and the largest paid membership in world sport. Yet, they still had a net loss of £25.8 million. An overdue improvement was made in terms of player sales, though it was still not enough to offset the huge amount of spending last summer. In a week that saw both Everton and Nottingham Forest charged with breaching Premier League profitability and sustainability rules, finance in football has rarely been as big an issue as it is now. Punishments could include a fine, points deduction or other sporting sanction. It is why United have to be so careful with what they do in the January transfer window. The Ineos Group is already planning for a significant first summer at the club, and once again, a key part of the transfer strategy will be selling players before they can reinvest it elsewhere. In particular, there is a strong argument for United to sell any academy products they no longer need this summer, given that the current financial rules actually encourage such a backwards approach. While United have always viewed their academy as a way to nurture the very best young talent to bolster their own first team, in the modern game, it makes a lot more sense to use it as a money-making machine. It might appear counterintuitive, but selling academy players is hugely beneficial to a club from a financial fair play perspective because the profit on the sale is purely classified as income. A player from the academy typically doesn't require a transfer fee, or if they do, they tend to receive relatively low compensation amounts. It means if you sell an academy player for £10 million, then on your books it will be £10 million of instant profit. United have already shifted a lot of academy talent under Ten Hag's reign, but these have tended to be for low transfer fees, with the potential for a windfall through hefty sell-on clauses and the safety net of buyback options. This summer, they could really reap the rewards of the new system. Scott McTominay could be sold as part of the ongoing midfield revamp, and questions have been asked about Marcus Rashford's future amid his recent struggles. Most obvious, though, is the sale of Mason Greenwood. He has not played for United since January 2022, after allegations, all strongly denied, were made against him on social media earlier that month, and they do not intend to let Greenwood play for or train with them while he is still at the club. Greenwood is under contract until 2025 and is expected to leave the club permanently this summer. He has established himself as a key player for Getafe, which has led to suggestions that both Atletico Madrid and Barcelona could look to sign him as well. From a purely business sense, it remains in United's best interests for Greenwood to do well in Spain so that they can acquire an even bigger transfer fee from him this summer, all of which will be deemed profit. It is easier said than done. Getafe will argue that the sporting benefit of having the 22-year-old outweighs the negative press they have received, but not every club would be willing to associate themselves with him. A number of clubs withdrew their interest in signing Greenwood last summer following backlashes over potential moves on social media, and just because he's spent a spell at Getafe, does that make him a clean asset this summer? Ineos would be advised to negotiate his exit well before the summer window opens to ensure it is not a saga that drags on for too long, and it would also help from a financial aspect to get rid of him quickly too. Here we back again, Reds. Glazers have secret clause which could see Sheikh Jassim buy Man United next year. A secret clause could see the Glazers sell Manchester United to Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani. Back in November 2022, it was confirmed that the Glazers had put the Old Trafford club up for sale. Last month, It was reported that British billionaire and Ineos boss Sir Jim Ratcliffe had agreed a deal to buy a 25% stake in United. Prior to that deal, it was widely known that Qatari banker Sheikh Jassim was interested in a full purchase of the club but ultimately failed to agree a deal with the Glazers. It has been claimed that Ratcliffe and his team will handle the footballing side, with the Glazers heading up the commercial side. The deal is set to be officially completed as soon as next month. However, it has now been reported that Ratcliffe could be forced out of the club in 18 months. According to The Times, documents have revealed that the Glazers have the power to sell United to another buyer. The report also claimed that the Americans could oblige Ratcliffe to sell his 25% stake in the club once an 18-month window has passed. The document reads, "For so long as the Glazer parties are the majority holder, following the date that is 18 months after the closing date and in connection with any sale of the entire company, the company board may require the trawlers party to sell all of their company ordinary shares and take such other